Well, howdy, folks. I'm called Beeman, and today I'm going to start my art venture proper. My previous couple of videos, I was going over the little bit of past experience I have with drawing and that sort of thing. And today, I'm going to be trying to learn something that I never really understood before. Technically, I learned a little bit of this in in an art class in the ninth grade, but I failed that class. I didn't really understand it. I didn't really absorb any of the knowledge. So basically going into this fresh. Today I'm going to be trying shading. Uh, I don't even know where to start. Let's start with a cube, which I drew in my first episode. This is something kids used to draw when I was in elementary school in the 90s. Which feels like a million years ago now, but it is what it is. And then, actually, let's try to draw that without these background lines. Okay. It's a bit wonkadoo, but that's all right. Let's try that again, but a little bit bigger. For some reason, whenever I try to draw stuff, or even when I'm writing, I always go really tiny. I feel like that's a flaw. I mean, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter that much. But if I'm recording a video here, then I want it to be visible, right? Okay, so let's creating shadows. I mean, let's see. Try to think about it in real life. Let's say I had a light back here. That's a terrible representation of light, but it's okay. So this side would be shadowy, right? Maybe I could speed this up in editing if I can figure out how to do that. Getting a real flat spot on the pencil here. I feel like that's got to be part of the technique. I don't know. Okay, so we got our dark side. That's in the shadow. Now, how do we do... Let me bust out the ruler for this. The shadow would kind of be based on the light, kind of like a point perspective, right? So if our light's right there, then our shadow should be going kind of in this way. Or would the light be based on this corner? I guess it depends on how high our light source is. Or would it be... I don't really know. Would it be based on the invisible corner behind the box? Oh yeah, that looks more correct. Let's erase these ones. Pretend these ones didn't happen. It's the beauty of pencil, man. So now we'll fill this in. Similar to how we did the rest of the box, but lighter. Because the shadows on the table are always kind of lighter, right? Maybe? Is that just my brain making that up right now on the spot? And I guess we'd have a little bit of shadow on this side. Is that right? There we go. You know, that doesn't look half bad. I feel like it's not quite right. But hey, man, turned out a lot better than I thought it would. I feel like something needs to be here, but like this is like completely exposed to the light, so wouldn't that be just a bright surface? I don't know. But you know what I'm going to try next? Let's try to do a circle. Big old circly. Okay, terrible circly, but you know what? That's all right, man. This is day one of my actual art venture, so it's okay to be bad, man. So we'll use the same light source. Try to figure out where the heck. Let's give this one a table. Okay, it's a little bit hovering over the table, but that's okay. There we go. Now let's see. I feel like that's a bit dramatic for the shadow on this thing. But we're gonna go with it. So how the heck do I draw a curved shadow? I guess we'll start with just drawing a curved line on here. And we'll just get kind of progressively darker as we go back here. Right? Is that it? I don't know. Again, I feel like I'm missing some fundamental technique or inside knowledge. But that's alright. I can always look this up after the fact. Now let's try to get lighter on this side of it. More darker over here. Why does that look... I mean, it looks kind of right, but also kind of wrong, doesn't it? Let's see. You know, it's one thing I remember people doing in art class was they do some of this. Rub their finger across the graphite and kind of smudge it around. Maybe that'll help. Sure put a bunch of crap on my finger, but let's try to give this a little kind of shiny point, because there's always, if you're looking at a ball, oh, that just covered it right back up. Good job, self. That's okay. So how does the shadow for a ball work? Kind of like one of these, like some of this action, maybe. I feel like the box turned out way better than the sphere is turning out so far. Woof. Get my smudge action on. I feel like I'm on the right track, but I think it's not going so great. This one looks much better. I kind of like how the cube looked. So let's try another one. Not cube, we're going to try another sphere. And this time we're going to do, let's say, the light source is somewhere off in this direction. Like maybe off the page somewheres, shining kind of in, like, I don't know if you can see them lines, but actually let's do it somewhere over here. Over here is where our light source is, so let's see if we can draw us a shadow. That doesn't look too terrible. I still feel like it's missing something. Smudgy, 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 smudgy. And then, let's see. Because it's got to be, let's see. There's always like a bright spot that's reflecting the light the most. Probably shouldn't have drawn that with a sharp edge of the pencil, but that's whatever. So let's kind of try to have it darker around the back. And then kind of a middle shade here. And the lightest shade closest to our very bright spot. I'll hit this with the eraser, try to erase my dumpy line, and smudge it in a little bit. I don't know if smudging is the move here, but that's something I remember from art class, so I'm doing it. It's kind of whatever. I don't know, it feels like, I think this is something I got to do some research on. Oh man, look at my fingers, whoa. Yeah, I think this is something I'm going to need to do some research on. I kind of like how the box turned out. I feel like my first try was the best, and doing the spheres is terrible. I don't know. Get my ruler out of shot. Yeah, so I guess my result on this, cut this video short, but my result is inconclusive. I need to practice. That's something I need to practice, and I need to do a little bit of research before I go to practice it. So, I guess that's the key takeaway from this episode. Start small and work yourself up. Do a little research and practice. That's going to be the important thing here, because something about this just looks not right at all. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. See ya.